Hello friends, this is Rishabh and I welcome you to the Python Verse series. We are at video number 23 and in this video we are going to start with debugging in Python. So what exactly is debugging and what is the role played by debugging in any programming language? So if I talk about the role of debugging, that happens to be very crucial because debugging allows us to figure out or find out the errors in a given program. And the concept which we are going to talk about today is breakpoint. Now let me tell you, when we are a beginner program, one of the things which we always do, and I believe almost all of us have done it, is we tend to use print statements. So if we see that there is a bug which we are not able to find out, which is kind of hidden, what we do is we simply add some print statements and we try to understand that what exactly is the value of a certain variable at a given point of time. So in a way we try to examine the state of the program but using the print statements. So that's even though that is like that works at times, but that is not quite efficient if you have to examine the state of the program. Why exactly is that not efficient? Because let's say you have to examine the state of 10 variables, you will have to add 10 print statements, which is going to take a lot of your time. Imagine having to do this for let's say 5-10 places. You will have to write 100 statements, which is not at all efficient. So for very little scripts it may be helpful, but as the size of your programs grow, as you start working on more complex projects, it becomes very difficult to handle debugging with the help of print statements. So that is where a new concept comes, that is called as a breakpoint. So a breakpoint basically allows you to pause the execution of the program at a given line, like wherever you want to stop or pause the execution of your program, you can do it. Now, when you pause the execution of your program, you are able to check the values which are present in the variables at that specific point of time, which basically tells you that which function is executing fine, which class is being initialized properly, or if there are any errors. So you are able to tell exactly. Now what are the use cases? As I mentioned, you can examine the values of the variables, you can check the state of the program, and you can definitely examine the flow of the program. Now how do we apply a breakpoint in Python? It is very simple. We have an inbuilt module which is called as pdb. pdb is basically a short for Python debugger. And then we can do pdb.setTrace. So wherever we want to stop the execution of the program, we can simply say pdb.setTrace. Cool. So now I'll go ahead and I will use this in a program. I'll be using it in a very simple program in which the error will be kind of visible. But the idea is to basically give you a gist of how exactly you can use pdb in your programs, right? So here I go to debug.py. Now as we can see that there is this program. What exactly is it doing? Well, it's saying sum of evens. Like it is taking a list of numbers. Here is the list of numbers, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, right? And it says that the result is equal to sum of evens and we are passing in the numbers. So it prints the sum of even numbers in the list is whatever the result is. Now let us just try to run this module. If I say python debug.py and I see that the sum of even numbers in the list is 5. So let us just go, if we are debugging it, so currently we have absolutely no idea why the error is coming. And but yeah, it's kind of obvious that there is something wrong with this sum of evens because the result which is returned by sum of evens is not correct. So here is the function sum of evens, which is taking in numbers. It is initializing even sum equal to 0 for number in numbers. If is even number, do this, return even sum, right? So now let's say I want to check whether the value which I am returning, whether it is correct or it is not correct. So in that case what I can do is I can say import pdb, or what you can do is you can actually do this import at the beginning of your program. So here we go, import pdb, then in this line you can say pdb.setTrace. Now the execution of your code will stop at line number 15 because we have added a breakpoint, and we will be able to examine this variable because this variable is in the scope of this function where we have added the pdb, right? Okay, so let me just go ahead and say Python debug.py. Yes, so as you can see that we have stopped right before this line, that is right before return even sum. Okay, now if I try to check what exactly is present inside of even sum, it is 5, which is absolutely not correct, right? Now I can press C and C stands for continue. I can simply press C and it will again go ahead and complete its execution. Now I know that the error is happening somewhere inside of this for loop, right? So here what I can do is I can simply say pdb.setTrace here. By now I'm sure you must have already guessed what exactly is wrong with this line, but because we are trying to understand PDB, so I'll just go with the flow. Now I will again say Python debug.py. For number and numbers, we are checking whether the number is even. Now we are inside of this for loop only because the given number is even, right? Now let me check the value of number. The value of number is 2. Now let me check what exactly is even sum. Even sum is 1. Whereas, so here is the error, even sum equals even sum plus 1. This is not correct because we don't want to add 1. We want to add the number itself to the even sum. As we can see that even sum was initialized to 0, and the intention here was that we wanted to add each even number to the even sum, but this line has an error, and instead of adding number we are adding 1. So this is how you can do, like you can basically halt the program or pause the program, and then you can inspect the values whether they are correct or not. So now that I have corrected it, let me, okay, so because I had this in for loop, so I had to do this continue multiple times. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it again for number and numbers. Now let me check what is the value inside of even sum. First let's see what is the number. Number is 2, and now if I check what is the even sum is also 2, which is correct. Now I'll press C so that it can continue. Now because we are inside of a for loop, so this pdb.setTrace will also run again and again. So which means I don't have to add print statements here, and I can basically examine my program right when it is running. So this time if I check what is the number is 4, which is correct. Now if I check even sum is 6. I can again do C, I can again check number, I can say even sum, which is correct again, number, even sum. Okay, why is 6 continuing here? If you see 6 occurred multiple times. Let me again print number, continue. Okay, the sum is 30, which is correct. I still had some error here which I'm not able to understand what exactly is it. So okay, even sum was 6, that's why I had this, but again the number was still 6. Okay, so I didn't press C, that's why I ended up printing this twice, which is perfectly fine. Awesome, cool. So this is how you can pause your program, and then you can evaluate what exactly is the state of your program, and this really helps you to understand your code better, and understand basically the errors which are occurring in your code better. And this is way more efficient than writing the print statements again and again. So yes, next time whenever you are debugging a Python script, you can use PDB instead of using anything else, and this will be very efficient for your debugging process. So with this, I think it's time to conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about how we can get started with debugging in Python. If you like this video, I request that you subscribe to the channel, you share this video with others, because that really helps a lot. So with this, I will take your leave. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye bye.